Well, yes, hello, welcome back to Football Therapy with me, your host Jan. How's it going? Merry Christmas to those who celebrate. It was yesterday, so I had a day off. If you do celebrate Christmas, I hope you ate lots of food, had a good time with your friends and family, and possibly had a few drinks. I had a good time. I had loads of, sugar. I'm gonna try and sort myself out tomorrow. I'm gonna have a bit more extended festivities today. I think I'm gonna try and get down to the Villa game tomorrow. We'll see what happens. But then Healthy Jan is back on the health train, I suppose. Anyway, I hope you guys are doing well. Welcome back. Yes, we are here to speak about the transfer deal sheet from The Athletic, which of course is published weekly, I believe, usually on Tuesdays, when there's a transfer window. And we are literally on the doorstep of the winter transfer window. Now, Chelsea are going to be one of the more quieter teams. It has to be said. Of course, there was the story that we were considering Semenyo, but sort of backed out. Of course, everyone got terribly excited with the links, and of course all those pictures were circulating of Antoine Semenyo wearing a Chelsea shirt doing the Didier Drogba celebration. But the truth is, I get it, it would have been terribly exciting to sign him for 65 million quid. I think he does prefer the right hand side over the left. We are of course sorted for the right hand side with Pedro Neto and Estevao. But we're yet to see the best out of Garnacho and Gittins. They're yet to, win the hearts of Chelsea fans, but we'll see what's happening. We're gonna jump into the transfer deal sheet. This is by Simon Johnson of The Athletic. So, yes, welcome and happy Christmas. Of course, it's Boxing Day today. So, just time flies so fast, Before you know it, it'll be March and I will be 37 years old. Can you believe that? Just dreadful scenes all round. Thank you for joining me. As always, I would urge you to support the content. You can simply do so by liking and subscribing, maybe hyping the video up down below. And of course, this should be available on all good podcast platforms. Certainly Spotify, hopefully Apple Podcasts, and maybe others. So thank you for following and 5-starring. Right, so let's get into it. We are going to hop into the transfer deal sheet. Chelsea's January transfer deal sheet. Raheem Sterling latest. Oh my word, the Raheem. When this Sterling story is done, it's going to feel like such a profound weight has been lifted. More, dare I say, more than Romelu Lukaku. Because at least he was going on loans and, he was playing football. He was getting paid even more than Raheem. Raheem gets 300k a week. Lukaku was on 325k a week, so it was a bit more. And when we finally, sold him to Napoli after he was on loan at Inter, and did he go on loan to Inter? Rome, where he wanted to go to Juventus. Anyway, life-draining saga that was. I actually think when Raheem finally, we sort out his, sale. It's going to feel like biblical levels of weightlifting. Right, so let's get into it. Another transfer window is nearly upon us, gang. So naturally, there will be a lot of interest in Chelsea's business. In January 2023, Chelsea spent well over $250 million, which of course is $332 million at current exchange rates, on 6 players, including of course Enzo Fernandez from Benfica, for what was at the time a record fee. They have been pretty quiet in the 2 January windows since, so what do they have in mind this time? The information found within this article has been gathered according to the Athletic sourcing guidelines. Sources with knowledge of transfer dealings, who asked to be kept anonymous to protect relationships, have been spoken to before offering the clubs involved the opportunity to comment. Wow, there's your disclaimer. Here's the guide from The Athletic on what to expect. Let's dive in, ladies and gentlemen. So what is the manager's priority? Well, that is as follows. It does not really work that way at Chelsea. No support in last 48 hours, etc. Head coach Enzo Maresca is consulted on transfer plans, but the strategy is led, of course, by the sporting leadership team. Although last summer's recruitment drive was carried out in consultation and close coordination with the Italian. So Enzo Maresca is involved. He does have a say. He is in the room. He doesn't just have players thrown at him, which I must say is positive to hear. Chelsea's hierarchy have been happy with Maresca's input and engagement in the market, so should they make any moves, the 45-year-old will be involved. Asking for specific targets, however, is a different matter. An example of this came in the summer window after, of course, Levi Colwill was ruled out for most, if not all, of his current campaign with an ACL injury. Maresca requested that a new central defender be signed, but he was told there was enough defenders at Chelsea to fill the void. Yes, indeed. Yeah, I mean, there is a lot of defenders at Chelsea, you know. One of which apparently has been offered to Barcelona, Disasi, so we'll see what that's being said in a moment. But, you know, between Badiashile, Fofana, Tosin, Chalobah, there is others like Machampong. There is a lot knocking about. Hato, are we going to count Hato as a centre-back after watching him play centre-back and not playing centre-back very well? Probably not. But they probably at the time were thinking Hato as well. All dem man. I mean, we've even seen Reece James playing a back too, like playing a centre-back in a 2 centre-back system. So there certainly is options. So what positions will Chelsea be looking at in January? So here it comes, the big anticlimax. Chelsea do not intend to be busy in terms of additions to the first team squad. The club are instead working with the summer in mind. They could still purchase a young player for the future and keep them at the current club in order to continue their development, or of course loan them elsewhere. This has been the regular practice for the West London club over the last few years. Yeah, I suppose in terms of the first team, Chelsea are pretty good, really. I mean, like, if you sat around a bunch of Chelsea fans, and indeed some people from outside the club, and said, what do we need? They'd go, wow, if you could just slam dunk a Harry Kane in there, that would sort you out a little bit. Or, I don't know, some, you know, really elite left winger that immediately comes in. But otherwise, like, it's okay, you know? So what players do Chelsea want? Well, Chelsea are scouting a number of players in a variety of positions. We always do that. Fingers and pies all over the gaff. Loads and loads of different players always being looked at, regardless of the situation of the first team squad, yeah? This is obviously me speaking, not Simon Johnson. Let's go on. Although some of the names are being looked at are with sister Ligue 1, Club Strasbourg, who are, of course, owned by the same company, Blueco. Among many young talents being monitored are Rennes centre-back Jérémy Jacquet, I think I'm saying that right, and Saint-Etienne forward, oh my giddy aunt, let's go for this, no run-up, oh my word, Gillian Ungesian. Yep, that's all you're getting from me, but that is as far as the interest, so they're looking at young players from Ligue 1. Which doesn't surprise me at all. Fans can forget about a reunion, of course, with Thiago Silva. He went from Fluminense to Porto, announced him signing on a free transfer. In any case, Chelsea have enough centre-backs. He was never under consideration. That is sad. I mean, we did speak about that here on the channel, but it was more of like a sort of thought exercise because there were reports suggesting he would come back if he had the opportunity. Which wouldn't surprise me at all. Thiago loves Chelsea. His boys are at Chelsea. They live in London. And also JT, John Terry, did a TikTok saying he should come back. That's where that ended, you know. In terms of positions they are concentrating on for the first team, well, this is a bit juicy. This summer is central midfield has become a priority, guys. So we've got Santos, we've got Caicedo, we've got Enzo Fernandez, we've got Reece James, who apparently is just an amazing central midfielder, and, you know, the Sugo. Yeah, but Romeo Lavia, this is the problem. Central midfield has become a priority. A priority is huge due to Romeo Lavia's injury issues. Of course, we bought him for £50 million in August 2023. He snubbed Liverpool to join Chelsea, just like Caicedo. I believe in the same window, which is great fun. £50 million. That rises to 57 or 58 million quid. I feel like I should take a moment to say I think Romeo Lavia is an incredibly talented midfielder. He's still only 21. In my head, I said this the other day, like, I keep thinking he's 19, but he can't be 19 for 3 years. Yeah, he's 21. He's 21. He's about to turn 22 in less than 2 weeks. So Yeah. Yeah. So what's that mean? Like, we're just assuming he's never going to be fit, so we're going to buy a new central midfielder. What does that mean for Reece James playing in the midfield? What does it mean for Santos? Heck, what does it mean for Dario Asugo? Yeah? I mean, are they just like, Asugo's not going to be good enough and Lavia's just never going to be available? So also, like, what kind of level of midfielder are we talking about here? A really expensive, nice one? An Adam Wharton? Because we're speaking about Adam Wharton. And Elliot Anderson, which would be super juicy. But you buy that guy, you got to play him, man. You ain't buying that guy to be like a Romeo Lavia. But then again, you know, he's playing in the Forest midfield. He doesn't necessarily, but he could moonwalk into most midfield. So that is a tricky one. Chelsea made an initial move over Antoine Semenyo, the aforementioned, of course, but decided against pursuing a move. There's a dedicated article on this that was published 3 days ago. His preference is to join Man City. Liverpool were looking at him to be maybe like a long-term Salah replacement. Arsenal, apparently, he is the boy, but 65, it's kind of like Liam Delap all over again. Like, Liam Delap for 30 million quid at 22 years old was, after scoring those goals, was like, well, all clubs want him because even if they don't use him, they're going to make money on him regardless. So everyone was scrambling for him. Now, everyone's scrambling for Semenyo, not to make money on him, but to use him, because obviously 65 million isn't 30 million. It's more than twice as much. But it's like, well, he's definitely worth 65 to come in and be a starter for a top team. That's not Bournemouth. So, yeah, a lot of Chelsea fans would be like, well, he can play on the left. We've sort of seen not enough from Garnacho and Gittins, but I kind of understand why, And also, Semenyo will go to Man City and get paid, I don't know, 300k. He'll get Raheem Sterling money, basically. Which, of course, brings us on nicely, what a segue, onto the next section of selling. Who will they be looking to sell? So, the biggest priorities are trying to resolve the futures of both Axel Disasi and Raheem Sterling, who have been left out of the senior squad all season. A Ligue 1 club have inquired about a loan for Disasi, but Chelsea prefer a domestic loan or permanent sale. Now, it's worth, before we move on to Raheem Sterling here, I believe, was it Fabrizio Romano said that Disasi has been offered to Barcelona. Yeah. So Disasi, just on a different site here, has been offered to Barcelona, as Roma also remain in contact. Like, Roma are looking at him as well. But I believe it is Fabrizio Romano that has broke this story. But apparently, they've been offered a chance to sign him, basically. Yeah, it is a Fabrizio Romano. Barcelona? Pretty funny. Disasi, I mean, no, we're through the looking glass now. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's been out of Chelsea's squad. He's in the under-21s. He's been offered to Barcelona. The former Monaco ace is part of the infamous bomb squad, and Fabrizio Romano has indeed said Chelsea have offered him to them. But the only way he can leave, again, like reiterating what's being said on The Athletic here, is he has to be going on a permanent transfer. Disasi cannot leave Chelsea on a loan deal. He's still on a big salary at Chelsea, even though he's out of the squad. And of course, the aforementioned Roma, Lyon, and Paris FC are interested. Now, Paris FC are in Ligue 1 now, aren't they? They got promoted. So there's the Paris derby, PSG versus Paris FC. And looking at it now, Paris FC are 14th. I mean, their last form's terrible. But they're out of the relegation zone. There's only 18 teams in Ligue 1. It'd be nice if they stay. So, of course, French teams looking at him. And offered to Barcelona, which is just funny, really. Sterling's situation requires greater consideration. Here we go, guys. Take a deep breath collectively. As he is on a contract worth more than £300,000 a week, which still has 18 months left to run. To be honest, I just feel like it's longer, because I feel like I'm in a never-ending Raheem Sterling transfer nightmare. 18 months. So in the summer, it will be in the last 12 months. Damn. The 82 cap, he'll probably still think he could run his Chelsea contract down, sign on a free as like a 32-year-old for a Premier League club. Probably, right? And make loads of money out of Chelsea. How old's Raheem Sterling? He's 30, isn't he? He's 31. He's literally turned 31 this month. So he'll be, 32, 33 when his contract runs out. He'll feel like he can sign, on a free transfer to Fulham or something. I don't know, like do a Willian. Oh man, what a stressful situation. He's rejected loans abroad in the summer, preferring the stability and the security of a permanent move. The 31-year-old's family live in London, and that remains a key consideration regarding any loan offers in particular. No real details or solutions here. I would not be surprised if we pay him up, if he runs his contract down, and it's just a nightmare. What a nightmare. Anyway, let's move on. The 19-year-old winger Tariq George, though, is subject of a lot of interest in the Premier League and indeed Champions League teams in Europe, which doesn't surprise me. He's only 19. He's looked really good. He's scored some high-profile goals. Chelsea's positionally versatile across the front three, although we generally don't like to see him play as a striker, but he's played them. And of course, he scores loads of goals for England under 21. He's playing well for under 21's level, so he's a high-profile player, Tariq George. Make no bones about it. He absolutely is. He came close, of course, to joining Fulham on deadline day last time out and could be lured away by a club offering more game time. Yeah, I think there's a very, very strong chance Tariq George will go in the winter transfer window, to be honest. Sources speaking here we go. Anonymous sources speaking to The Athletic say that Philip Jorgensen wants to get a move. So we've read this before. We've already reacted to this story. He wants to go to the World Cup. He needs to play first team football. Chelsea do not want to change their options in that position. Basically, they're happy with Rob Sanchez as number one, as they should be. Again, let's touch wood, everyone. Knock on wood. Rob Sanchez is playing good football. And they're just happy for Philip Jorgensen to knock about and be number two, basically. Of course, he won't be happy with that, and therefore he'll go in the summer. But for the January transfer window, even though he's going, can you let me go, please? So I can play some football and play in the World Cup. He'll just have to sort of take it on the chin. He's still young, Jorgensen, for a goalkeeper. He's much younger than Sanchez. I think he's at 23, I think. Philip Jorgensen. I will confirm to you now. He's 23, mate. He's got plenty of time. You'll have World Cups and Euros to play, mate. You're just going to have to take this one on the chin. Will anyone move out on loan is the next segment here on The Athletic. Chelsea have already set up their allocation for 6 international loan spots on Mike Penders, who's at Strasbourg, Mamadou Sarr, Strasbourg, Kendry Paez, Strasbourg. Of course, Nicholas Jackson is at Bayern Munich, and Aaron Altamino is at Borussia Dortmund. These are all pretty high-profile loans, to be honest. Dortmund, Bayern Munich, and Strasbourg are, playing in Europe and in a top 5 league. And David Datro Fofana, remember him? The Didier Drogba regen. He's playing at Fatih Karagümrük. Oh my god. Fatih Karagümrük. I'll never read that. What is that? They're 18th in the Turkish Super League. Right. There you go. For those of you who are wondering where David Datro Fofana is, there he is. He's on the bowels of the Turkish Super League. One of those loans will have to be cancelled for another player to go out. This is why Disasi being loaned is being ruled out, essentially. I think they just want to sell him anyway and sort it out. Do you know what I mean? Chelsea are exploring options domestically for Brazil under-20 international David Washington. Oh, God, remember him. He's not played a senior game and since being recalled from loan at Santos in late August. Did we recall him because of the situation with strikers and the Jalap injury? No, because he went... Wait, was he... Wait, what? So is he playing with the under-21s? The forward has made just 3 appearances for Chelsea since joining from Santos for 16 million euros plus 4 in add-ons. 20 million euros for that kid. 20 million euros. Jeez Louise, man. So yeah, Mark Gue, his situation, right? He played 3 games on loan for Sunderland in August. Of course, he got recalled prematurely. because of the Delap injury, means the only club he could technically go on loan to is back to Sunderland. We're having a lovely time. However, Chelsea want to keep him, of course, despite the Spaniard remaining a fringe member under Maresca. Yeah, basically Maresca, and they're like, he can get the odd goal, he can press well. He got that really nice assist the other day, didn't he? Well, I say the other day, it was a while ago now. But he's useful, basically, and he knows the squad, and he doesn't have to learn anything. I understand keeping to the status quo, as it were. There is a movement for players in the under-21s. Midfielder Sam Raksaki, of course, who's played under Maresca, saw a move to League 2 side breakdown in the summer. He'll be exploring another loan. So, do we need to sell to buy? The big financial question of where we are as Chelsea Football Club with the money. We don't. We don't need to sell to buy, but given the large squad, any signings will be offset with sales to fit another player in. One has to go. This effectively was demonstrated in the summer when they became the first Premier League club to make more than £300 million from transfers in a window. Wow, that's a lot of money from sales. Chelsea are also relaxed about adhering to the UEFA punishment handed to them in July. UEFA issued a €31 million fine for the club breaking their financial fair play earnings rule, squad cost rule thing. It could go up to another 60 million if they fail to comply over the next 4 years. So they feel like comfortable they're working with them, essentially, and paying the relevant fines. And hopefully they seem to think no sporting sanctions. So again, touch wood. UEFA's squad cost ratio, the percentage of the club's income spent against the first team squad, is 70% this season. For this season and next, Chelsea must maintain a positive transfer balance, which is the cost of players added must not exceed those being removed. That's tricky. For any new players to be registered for their European competition, so hopefully the Champions League next season. PSR position, I think we should be good, right? There's no concerns over complying with PSR. I mean, this is because PSR is domestic. It's not UEFA, which means the women's team sale, the hotel sale, they're all accounted financially, so we've got loads of wiggle room. What kind of budget do Chelsea have? The majority of transfer funds and businesses are being saved for the summer, so do not expect Chelsea to be leading the spending charts next month. They will continue to be outgoings as well as incomings, so Chelsea's net spend will remain in a good place. Finally, if they do not make any signings, will they be able to achieve their goals this season? Well, they should do. Maresca still has a fine squad to work with, even if there may be the odd gap here and there. Big striker, big left winger. Colwell's absence, of course, and Lavia's persistent injury issues do not help. Chelsea will also be under strain from January onwards, as they will be competing on all 4 fronts: the Prem, the Champions League, the FA Cup, and the Carabao Cup. The aim is to qualify for the Champions League again via top 4/top 5. It's probably going to be top 5, isn't it? Finish, depending on how many spots England secures, I think it'll be top 5. Plus, compete in the 3 cup competitions. Chelsea have shown they can do that so far with what they have. Yeah, I think the main thing is we'll get to the point where, we'll want to be title challengers, and maybe you look at this Chelsea squad and think they're missing 1 or 2 for title challenges. Maybe it won't be goalkeeper, but I wonder if it will be striker and it will be left winger. We'll see by the end of the season. But let me know your thoughts, guys. Please do leave them in any and all comment sections. Thank you for liking and subscribing on YouTube, following and 5-starring on Spotify. If you listen to the pod, you can watch the video on Spotify now. That's pretty dope. Yeah, man, and other than that, thank you for your support. I hope you had a good Christmas. It's going to be a great new year on Football Therapy, so keep it locked, and I'll see you back here very soon, hopefully. Peace.